Yeah, who cares? These people call him a fascist. They call him a rapist. They say that he tried to screw his own daughter. They call him every name under the sun. And
Is that
suddenly, oh, it's beneath him.
you
Hang on, man.
it's
I
about
didn't interrupt you
you
once. Hey, I didn't interrupt you once.
you're
It's
saying
beneath
I
your
also didn't say
station
things
to
about you that were
interrupt
not
me.
true.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're reacting to Andrew Wilson on Piers Morgan, and he nails it. Andrew exposes the absolutely ridiculous double standard when it comes to Trump's piggy comment. The media loses their minds over one word while ignoring years of them calling him every disgusting name imaginable. And the best part? They prove Andrew right in real time by interrupting him and denying they're doing it. You can't make this stuff up. Andrew's breakdown of the bad faith tactics is chef's kiss perfection. Make sure you watch until the end. Please comment down where you are watching from. It's great to see people from over the world connecting in here. All right, now let's get into the video.
The ongoing battle with the media rages on. I want to play a comment where he actually called a female reporter piggy. Let's take a listen to this.
There's nothing incriminating in the file, sir. Why are you writing as a Venezuelan?
Brian, what did you feel when you watched that?
I'm absolutely repulsed by that. First of all, he's the president of the United States. To call somebody Miss Piggy, he's supposed to be a leader. He is supposed to lead the way and, in a sense, be a role model to many out there and be professional. You're the president. It's beneath the presidency. Every single time somebody asks Donald Trump a question that he doesn't want to answer, for example, the Epstein files, he asked, who are you with? Where are you from? You're fake news. And then he attacks them and threatens them.
Well, let's take a look at that clip too, because the two go hand in hand in a way. Another female journalist. Let's take a look at that clip from the Oval Office.
It's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. And you could even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. They're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. As far as the Epstein files is, I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. But I guess I turned out to be right.
Now, the White House released a statement saying about the piggy comment. This reporter behaved in an inappropriate and unprofessional way towards their colleagues on the plane. If you're going to give it, you have to be able to take it. One of the theories behind that statement being that the reason he called her piggy was she was asking too many questions and was being a greedy pig. He didn't actually say Miss Piggy. Brian, your response to that rationale?
Let me respond to that first, and then the last clip you just played. First of all, even if that was true, which I don't think it was, a president would say, hey, I want to give other people a chance to ask questions, or I have no comment on that.
But
Please
Donald Trump's never going to do that. That's not why he got elected.
Because he's repulsive. That's why. Now, going back to that clip that you just played, that reporter asked two very good questions. The Saudi prince was sitting right next to Donald Trump. Our own FBI concluded in an investigation that he was responsible for the murder of an innocent journalist. That's a good question. The second good question she asked, respectfully, by the way, why won't you just release the Epstein files today? Why do you need all these Republicans' approval on it? She asked it respectfully, and even if she was disrespectful, if you don't want to answer the question, then just say, next question. Can you imagine if, I'm going to tell you something, if Joe Biden or Barack Obama called reporters Miss Piggy, or if Barack Obama or Joe Biden, or quite frankly, any Democrat answered a question in that fashion, I'd be calling them out as well. But MAGA Republicans, so many of them don't seem to have any problem with that. It's beneath the presidency.
Okay.
He proves it every single day.
Let me ask Andrew what your thought is.
Hold on. Let me get this straight. We're supposed to clutch our pearls because Trump said one word, piggy, but we're just going to ignore years of the media calling this man every disgusting name imaginable? Are you serious right now? Look, I'm not here to defend every word that comes out of Trump's mouth, but let's talk about what's actually happening here. Brian wants us to believe this is about professionalism and being beneath the presidency. Really? Where was this energy when media outlets spent 4 years calling Trump a fascist, a dictator, a threat to democracy? Where was this moral high ground when they compared him to Hitler on mainstream television? The double standard is insane. Think about it. These same journalists who demand respect and civility are the ones writing headlines calling him a criminal, a con artist, a danger to America. They've accused him of the most heinous things, dragged his family through the mud, questioned his mental fitness, and then they're shocked when he claps back. And here's what really gets me. Brian says if Joe Biden or Barack Obama did this, I'd call them out too. Would you though? Because I don't remember this level of outrage when Biden called a reporter a lying dog-faced pony soldier or told someone to shut up. The coverage was a fraction of what Trump gets. The standards aren't even in the same universe. You can't spend years calling someone every vile name under the sun and then demand they respond with flowers and poetry. That's not how human beings work. If you dish it out, you better be ready to take it. And that's all Andrew is saying. The media wants to play hardball, throw punches, destroy reputations, and then cry victim the second someone punches back. Now, are there better ways to handle hostile questions? Sure. Should presidents be diplomatic? Ideally, yes. But let's not pretend this exists in a vacuum. When you've been called a fascist for 8 years straight, when every single thing you do is twisted into the worst possible interpretation, when reporters come at you with loaded questions designed to trap you, maybe, just maybe, the real problem isn't one insult. Maybe the real problem is a media establishment that abandoned any pretense of objectivity years ago. The point is simple. You don't get to destroy someone's character daily and then demand they treat you with kid gloves. That's not fairness. That's manipulation.
Of the piggy comment in particular.
Yeah, who cares? These people call him a fascist. They call him a rapist. They say that he tried to screw his own daughter. They call him every name under the sun. And suddenly, oh, it's beneath him. You know, it's beneath. It's beneath the president. I bet you if I went back and looked at this guy's content, he's probably called him a fascist. He's probably called him a dictator. He's probably said that he's a rapist. He's probably said all of these things. And so the thing is like, hang on, man. I didn't interrupt you once. Hey, I didn't interrupt you once. It's beneath your station to interrupt me. It's beneath your station to interrupt me, sir. It's beneath your station. So the thing is like,
things about me that aren't true.
Can I calm down? Can I at least finish and then you can rebut? So the thing is that they call him everything under the sun, and this guy says one thing crashed anybody, and everybody loses their mind. It's like these are not good faith actors at all. This guy knows, even if he specifically hasn't, his entire party has been calling this guy a fascist and everything else, and a totalitarian dictator, and saying that he's a rapist, saying that he's a multiple felon, and they do all of this and run these hit pieces on Trump. So, of course, occasionally he gets upset and he says something back, and then suddenly he's like, oh, it's beneath your office. It's not beneath the office of any of these newspapers to consistently bash this guy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
All right, Paula, your response.
I'm slightly confused.
This right here. This is exactly what Andrew is talking about. Did you catch what just happened? They literally proved his point in real time. Andrew is making a perfectly valid argument about media hypocrisy. And what do? They interrupt him. They talk over him. And then when he calls it out, it's beneath your station to interrupt me, they deny it, even though we all just heard it happen. This is the gaslighting Andrew is exposing. This is the bad faith he's calling out. And here's what's brilliant about Andrew's argument. He's not even defending the insult itself. He's pointing out the absurdity of the moral outrage. You want to talk about what's beneath the office? How about major news networks spending 8 years calling a sitting president a Nazi? How about primetime anchors comparing him to Hitler? How about journalists writing op-eds calling him a dictator, a criminal mastermind, a threat to civilization itself? But Trump says one word back and suddenly everyone needs smelling salts and a fainting couch. Give me a break. The good faith actors line hits different because it's true. Look at how this conversation is going. Andrew can't even finish a thought without being interrupted, but he's the one being told to calm down. That's textbook bad faith debate tactics. Attack someone, interrupt them, deny you interrupted them, then act like they're the problem for getting frustrated. And the newspaper's point? Nailed it. Where's the concern about what's beneath the office when CNN runs 24/7 negative coverage? When the New York Times publishes anonymous sources calling him unstable? When entire media organizations dedicate themselves to destroying one person politically? That's somehow fine and professional, but responding to it isn't? Here's what the media establishment doesn't want you to understand. They want a monopoly on criticism. They can call you anything. They can destroy your reputation. They can make wild accusations. But the second you fight back, suddenly you're the villain. You're unpresidential. You're beneath the office. It's a rigged game. They're the dealer, the player, and the referee. And Andrew just exposed it. Look, nobody's saying politicians should be rude or unprofessional. But when you've been subjected to years of character assassination, when every single action is interpreted in the worst possible light, when your opponents literally call you Hitler, maybe the conversation about civility needs to start there, not with the response. The frustration in Andrew's voice is real, because he knows what everyone watching knows. This isn't about civility. This isn't about professionalism. This is about control. The media wants to set the rules where they can attack freely, but any pushback is considered outrageous. And honestly, the fact that they interrupted him while making this exact point is almost poetic. They can't help themselves. They proved his argument better than he ever could.
Your president is a convicted felon. Am I right about that?
34 counts.
And secondly, he was found to have, and I don't want to get this wrong, so Piers, I'm sure you correct me, sexually assaulted a journalist. Was it E.J. Carroll? Again, forgive me if I've got... Yes, thank you. And she won damages for millions and millions of dollars.
In a civil case.
In a civil case, that's right. So a finding was made by 12 of his peers.
Right, but the criminal conviction... Yeah, but Paula, the criminal conviction, just to be clear... Well, just to be clear, on the criminal conviction, for example, I do think that was an utter farce. They dragged a former president through a criminal court for shuffling a bit of paperwork to potentially hide something he says didn't happen, but hide an alleged one-night stand with a porn star 20 years before. That was demeaning to the American system.
If you want to dismiss
they did that.
the American criminal justice system, that's a matter for you. I'm just responding to what you're...
Can I just respond real quickly to what he said, if that's okay, Piers?
Sure.
First of all, I don't represent the Democrat Party. You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not even a Democrat. Number two, I've never called Donald Trump a fascist. I don't like...
Wait. So now we're supposed to have unlimited faith in the American justice system? Now it's sacred and unquestionable? This is the same justice system that people spent the entire summer of 2020 calling corrupt and broken. But suddenly, when it goes after Trump, questioning it means you're dismissing it? You can't have it both ways. You don't get to spend years protesting the justice system, calling it fundamentally flawed, demanding reform, and then turn around and act like it's infallible the moment it's used against your political opponent. That's not principle, that's convenience. And Paula's framing here is wild. Shuffling paperwork to hide a one-night stand from 20 years ago? Even she sounds skeptical saying it. That's because everyone with a functioning brain knows this prosecution was unprecedented. No former president has ever been criminally charged for what amounts to a bookkeeping dispute. Ever. Michael Cohen went to federal prison for the same alleged conduct, and federal prosecutors decided not to charge Trump. But somehow, a local DA in Manhattan found a crime nobody else could find? Come on. Even Piers, who's not exactly a Trump defender, admitted it was a farce, because it was. This wasn't about justice. This was about getting a conviction on the board before an election. That's not conspiracy theory talk. That's just pattern recognition. And here's the thing that drives me crazy about this whole exchange. Andrew's entire argument is about selective outrage and bad faith, and they keep proving him right. When the justice system does what you want politically, it's sacred and perfect. When it doesn't, it's corrupt and needs dismantling. That's not respect for institutions. That's using institutions as weapons. The E. Jean Carroll civil case? Look, a jury made a decision. Fine. But let's not pretend civil cases are the same as criminal convictions. The burden of proof is different. The standards are different. And using a civil judgment as proof of criminal behavior is intellectually dishonest. You know it is, but it sounds good in a debate, so people say it anyway. This is exactly what Andrew was calling out. The entire framework of this conversation is designed to trap Trump supporters. You either accept every accusation and every legal action as legitimate, or you're dismissing the justice system. There's no room for nuance. There's no acknowledgement that institutions can be politicized. There's no admission that prosecutors have discretion, and that discretion can be abused. And Brian's defensive response at the end? I'm not a Democrat. I never called him a fascist. Okay, cool. But you're still participating in the exact double standard Andrew identified. You're still treating Trump's words as uniquely disqualifying, while giving a pass to years of unprecedented attacks against him. The real question nobody wants to answer is this: if these prosecutions are so legitimate and non-political, why did they all happen in the same election year? Why did multiple cases that had been dormant for years suddenly become urgent priorities? You don't have to be a Trump supporter to find that timing suspicious. Look, institutions matter, the justice system matters, but blind faith in institutions is how you lose institutions. Questioning power isn't dismissing it, it's the responsibility of citizens in a free society. So what do you think of this? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.